Hello, thank you for coming to watch my video today. It's my first live video that I've ever done. I have bought some equipment so that this can look really professional, and it hasn't arrived in time. So currently I have my phone taped onto a stand, but I'm going to get this done. So the reason I've got this live stream today is because at the moment it's a really scary time. There's all sorts of crazy things going on, as you all know. And during this time, people aren't able to grieve for people that they're losing. Funerals you can't go to, which is really difficult, and it's making it hard for people to show their respects and to give the time to think about someone that they care about. So I've been going to an art class for the last year, and I've made some lovely friends through going there. And unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, one of the lovely gentlemen passed away. And it was a really difficult thing as a group because we couldn't do anything. None of us could go to the funeral because obviously there's restraints on that. And I thought there's a lot of other people out there as well that are losing people and just can't find a way to express that they care, because at the end of the day there's all these statistics being shown on TV, but these people aren't statistics. They're our friends, they're our family, they're our neighbours down the street. So I really wanted a way to showcase to Maurice's family that he actually matters. So I thought I would do this video, and I've done it in a way where I've used Crafters Companion products, which most of you will know I love Crafters Companion. But I've done it in a way where if you're at home and you're wanting to create a card, if you don't have dies or anything like that, you can still make something like this at home. So the whole concept about this has been, all of us in the art class wanted to show our respects. So I came up with the idea of us all lighting a candle. So I'm just going to show you one of them. So we all lit candles out on Thursday night after the clap, and we all put them in our windows, and then everyone took a photograph and sent them to me. So I'm going to make these up into a card, and as I say, I've done it in a way that you can do it without having all of the dies and all the equipment. So to start off with, I printed everything onto Crafters Companion smooth printable cardstock, which is 160 GSM. I know if you're watching and you're not a crafter, that'll mean nothing to you, but it means that it's a card that isn't so heavy that it's going to make all your card fall down because of the weight on it, but it's also a card that has a really nice surface to it, so you'll get a really nice smooth image, and it'll just not be as flimsy as if you used copy of paper. So I've printed all of the images out, and I've matted and layered them onto a blue background, and I've kept some of the images back to show you exactly how I did that, but I didn't want to bore you by doing the same thing 16 times because I've got 16 candles. I know there was a film called 16 Candles. So I'm going to switch to my overhead camera, and I will switch to that, but first of all I'm going to have a look and see if there are any messages. Oh wow, I've got 41 people watching. Wow. That's quite amazing. I'm really surprised at that. I didn't expect quite so many people, so I hope that you're enjoying it. Oh, my cousin Tracy's watching, and she shared my video. Hello Tracy. I'm just having a look on my mum's iPad to see what messages they are, because as I say, none of my equipment has come yet, but I really wanted to get this done. So Rach, my long distance bestie, is watching, and she says hello. She's been very kind for me and shared it to all of the Crafters Companion groups. So as I say, I'm going to switch to the overhead camera. I will keep an eye on if any messages are coming in. So if you do want to say hi or anything in this strange time that is life, just feel free to drop me a message. So I'm going to switch to that camera now. Right, there we are. So as I say, I've got, as you can see, lots of pictures of candles. And I've used the Crafters Companion nesting dies for this. You can just cut out with a pair of scissors. It would look just as effective. So as you can see, I have got the picture of a candle, and I've just taped a die on. It is one of the scalloped circles from the Crafters Companion collection. and I'm just going to pop that through my Gemini Mini die cutting machine. Now I'm going to bring that into shot because I don't think you can see. My Gemini Mini is one of my favourite bits of kit. People will tell you about the Gemini Mini and you'll think, why do I need it? I've got a gazillion die cutting machines. I thought so myself, and then I had to demonstrate it, and I absolutely fell in love with the Mini. It cuts things so quick and you don't have to faff on with plates, which I think is just marvellous. So I'm using a tape runner, which is my favourite, one of my favourite things I use all the time in my craft room. That's 22 metres, which is more than you get on any other tape runner that is out there. So I've stuck down, die cut and stuck down my last candle. So as you can see, I've got lots of other ones here. So I decided to do it on an 8x8 card piece. And Maurice really liked the beach. So I've decided to use the Nautical collection from Sara. So I've already selected 3 papers, 2 are going to be for the inside, and then I'm going to use the script one here for the outside. Is there any messages coming in? I'm just going to have a check. Nope, none coming in as yet. So I'm just using my tape runner again. And I'm always going to double check to make sure that I'm sticking the paper on the right way, because like most people, I have done it wrong at times. And then I'm going to start putting on my candles on the front. I'm going to sort of create a collage effect with all of these different candles. So I've used the Crafter's Companion die set. I'll show you one of them. So this is the Tone Edge Circle. So I've used various different dies from this collection because I really wanted to have an ad hoc different shapes and stuff just to represent the different people and the personalities. Sorry, I just had a warning come up. The different personalities within the group. So that's the reason why I've used all the different ones. So I'm just going to roughly now, they're not all going to go on the front because I thought it would be a nice idea to have some inside as well. So at the moment I'm just laying them around, just getting an idea for how, actually I really like that, for how they're going to go on. So the whole thing is that you don't have to use the whole part of each picture. So it's just to give the idea that, use a bigger one there, just to give the idea of the images. And I've got a beautiful, beautiful sentiment to go in the centre. So I want them looking quite ad hoc. That one. Right, so that's how I'm going to do the front. So now I'm just going to use my tape runner. As I said, I absolutely love this tape runner. I use them all the time in the craft room. And what I think is really special about it is the fact that it goes on for so long, but also that if I make a mistake and I don't like where I've put something, as long as I haven't pressed it down too hard, I can actually go back and remove it and add it where I want it to go without actually tearing any paper. And I think that that is why it's a must-have for me. If I wasn't using this, I would use my Collal all-purpose glue, which is something that I also absolutely love. So how many people are watching? Oh, I've gone right down from having 40 odd to 10. That's okay though. I know Rach is still watching. Yeah, I don't, oh, I've got up to 13. 15. And the whole idea is that it's live and I get to have a bit of a play, and mainly that the people in my art class get to see me going through the process of making Maurice's card, because this whole live is about him. And as I say, at the moment everyone seems to be losing someone, and it's a really difficult time for being able to show your respect and that you care for someone. So having something like this, I just hope that it's going to lift his family's day, and you have my permission if you want to make an identical card. Well, it wouldn't be identical because the candles would be different. But if you wanted to make a card along these lines, you are more than welcome to. And I'm just going to add this little one there. So that's quite a few of the candles stuck on. And then what I've got now, I said I've got a beautiful sentiment to go along with this. Now for once it's not something by a crafter's companion, but I just couldn't help but use this one. So this is by Stamp Addict, and it says, death leaves a heartache no one can heal, love leaves a memory that no one can steal. And I thought at a time like this it's a really nice sentiment to have, because I'm sure his family have a lot of memories that they're going to cherish in these days going forward. So what I use when I've got an unmounted stamp like this, I use a product called Aweigh Tack and Peel, or Tack Over and Over, that's it, this one. Tack it over and over. And I put that on the back of my stamps, and then I leave it to dry, normally overnight, and then after that it's tacky all of the time. You do have to touch it up every now and then though, but then I just stick it on my storage sheets on a piece of acetate, and I've cut a bit of white card to go along with this sentiment, and I'm going to use my Misti to do my stamping. There's all sorts of different stamping platforms on the market. I normally use my Crafter's Companion one, but because I'm doing this live and I don't really have much space on my desk, because it's an 8-inch one that I've got, if I had to, I'd have to move a lot of stuff. So I'm going for just doing it on my Misti. I'm just going to double check. I'm going to change my bit of card, because since I cut it, I decided on a slightly different idea on what I was going to do. I hope that those that are watching, well, I've got 17 watching. Any comments? Rach is still watching. So now what I'm going to do is just stamp, just double check that's in, I'm going to move that slightly. Now I'm going to use, because it's a sentiment and it's quite fine, I'm going to use a VersaFine ink pad. It's what I've been using for donkey's years, so it's what I feel most comfortable with. I do use the Crafter's Companion finesse pads often as well. Alright, so I'm just going to stamp that. and I'm going to re-ink one time. There. Now normally I would clean that stamp straight away, but because it's alive, I'm going to put it on the side and then I will do that once the live is over. And I'm going to quickly sprinkle on, I've got some silver embossing powder. Although to be honest, I quite liked it black, but I got this out before the live started. And I'm just removing the excess there. And then I'm going to heat that up with my heat gun. Now, for those of you that are watching from my art class, whether it's live or you're watching it back later, you might not know what I'm about to do. So this is being a stamp, and I've used an ink pad to stamp it clearly, and I've put on a powder. Now, this is where the magic happens. This powder, when you heat it, turns into sort of a metal effect, and in crafting, it is a really popular technique. So I'm going to use my heat gun. I'm going to hold it up to the camera, and you'll start to see when it changes. Can you see that there? I'm just going to turn it around and do the other side. And there we have the beautiful, actually I might switch to that one. There, can you read that now? Death is a heartache, no one can heal. Love leaves a memory, no one can steal. So I'm going to go back to this one. And I've got this die from the vintage lace. It's called the Cocoa Frames, if I remember correctly. And that fits just nicely over the sentiment that I've used. So now I'm going to put a little bit of low tack tape. Those in for my art class will know well because we use old Michaels every week. Got 15 people watching, and yet no one commenting apart from Rach. I say these lives will get a lot better because I've ordered some equipment, but at the moment I am just waiting for it to arrive. So I'm going to cut this out on my big Gemini. Now, as you can see, I've got bent plates. That doesn't matter to me at all. As I say, for those in my art class, because you might not be used to crafting, I'm going to use a Gemini die cutting machine, which is essentially a really posh mangle. And what it does is it crushes. I'll change actually to this. So what it does is, like a mangle, you put it through a machine, normally on a mangle, you turn it, and it pushes your card into your die, which then creates a cut. That can be really intricate. The Gemini is the top of the range model. It's like the best one that has ever been invented because the pressure in it is so deep. Previously you would have to turn a handle to get them to cut, and sometimes you would have to take a few passes. So normally you would turn your handle and you'd come out and you go, oh, that hasn't cut properly, and you would have to do another pass. With the Gemini, it has so much pressure in it that it cuts first time, which for a crafter is just amazing. It saves a lot of time, and it also means that you can cut more intricate die pieces to create some really effective lace and all sorts of other different kind of dies and stuff. So it allows you to cut a lot more than what you would with any other machine. So to do this, we need a sandwich. So I've got a base plate. Now, as I say, my plates are warped. Never worry about the fact that your plates are warped, because it happens. It's like if you have a car and you put your foot on the accelerator and you go fast. Your tyres get worn. It takes time, but it happens, and then eventually you have to change your tyres. It's the same thing with your plates. Your plates are your consumables, like what you have on your car. So people often get worried and say, oh, but my plates don't look new anymore. Your plates aren't going to look new, just like if you have a car and you've driven it 10,000 miles, your wheels aren't going to look the same as what they were when you started. And the reason for that is the pressure in the machine, which is what gives you that cut first time. So having to change your plates I've actually had these since I first got my Gemini. I do have a few different ones that I rotate. And I'm still using them, and I've had my Gemini about 3.5 years now. And I use it a lot. So to me, it's not anything to worry about, but just because it's something that people always comment on. So for my sandwich, I have my base plate, and then I put my die on top with the die facing into the card and into the base plate. Reason for that is if I don't have these raised edges going into my card, if I have them facing up, they will cut into my plate instead, and I don't want that. So I've got my die facing onto my card, and then that on top of a clear cutting plate, and then I've got a plastic shim which goes on top of that, and a magnetic shim on top of that. Now normally I would only use either my magnetic or my plastic if it was quite a straight cut shape, but because this is quite a detailed die, I am going to do both of them, and then another cutting plate on top, and then I'm going to feed that through my machine. I'm not going to turn my camera around for you to be able to see because I've only got a couple of cameras and it won't let me do that. So what I will do is switch back to that camera. And as you can see, you can tell I used a bit of scrap paper that I had. All those bits have cut out. Now, as I say, on a normal hand turn or manual die cutting machine, those pieces would not have cut in one pass like that. So there's just a few little bits left that need to be poked out. And this is just a pokey tool. Still no comments coming in, but yeah, I've got 10 people watching. Hello to the 10 people. I hope that you are having a nice day. It's quite sunny today. Right, so there I've got my sentiment, and move these out of the way. Get rid of those bits. So my sentiment now goes nicely over the top of the pictures, but what I'm going to do, because I've used a tape runner, I can bring those up slightly so that it fits in with the images, if that makes any sense at all. Now this is my permanent tape runner. We also, Crafters Companion also do a dotty tape runner, which is great for when you're doing little tiny little die cut pieces, intricate things. So I'm going to use this to go around on the lace, just to make sure that I don't end up with any bits sticking up. Alright, and then I'm going to slide that underneath there. Take that one out, and I'm going to slide it under there. Little touch more. And then this heart, which I deliberately didn't stick down before. If you believe that, you believe anything. It was an accident, which no one realised. And then I'm going to have the little heart. Don't like that. this is why I like to use my tape on it. I'm going to put that there, and then that there. So that's the front of my card. And then on the inside, Maurice liked the beach and travelling. So I've got 2 more papers to use from the Nautical collection. So I'm just going to trim them down slightly, just because I want a little bit of the white background going around it. So I've got my Crafter's Companion little guillotine, which I absolutely love. And I'm just going to trim off. I'm cutting both pieces of paper at once here. And I'm just going to trim off a little bit. People watching. I don't know if that's good luck or not. Now I'm making sure that I'm using the right tape pen. I picked up the dotty one, which isn't what I want at the moment. I do have a plan to do quite a few of these videos. I know Catherine Pounder, I don't know if she's watching, but she was very interested in how I store my craft stamps and everything like that, and I always promised her a video showing her how it was done, but I filmed it, and then when it came to editing it, it was really difficult because I had just noticed the screen's froze. I hope that hasn't happened for you guys. But yeah, so it was very difficult to edit it because I had sound, and then I had 2 different cameras going, and then I also was filming a computer screen, and it was going to take me like weeks and weeks to edit it. So I've got planned to do it as a live stream video, providing that this software works out okay this first time. And it's a really easy way, for me anyway, to keep track of what products I've got, so I don't buy duplicates, but also being able to find things, because everything in my craft room is logged. I'm not joking. I can type in a product that I want, like, so I can type in butterflies and it will bring up everything I have with butterflies on it. So it's something that's really useful to me. So as you can see, we've got the outside and then we've got the inside, and I've still got some candles to go in. So I'm just going to add them now. Are you still watching, Rach? I don't know who else is. I just thought at this time, when there's so much craziness going on, and as I say, people are losing people, to not be able to show your respect at someone's funeral, I just think is really hard. Because it's a way that helps people with grieving, and people want to know that the person that they love mattered. So I think it's just a lovely way for groups to be able to get together and just show the care. So I'm just sticking on a few more candles. I'm not really being too particular about where I'm sticking them. And as I say, I've mat and laid these onto Crafter's Companion luxury cardstock in blue, which I think just adds a nice touch to it. And I'm known for my pretty girly cards that are normally quite intricate and have different techniques and stuff on. When you're wanting to do a card with so many images on it, it is really difficult to sort of prettify it up in a way, particularly when it's for a man. So this is the design that I came up with. So I put that one there because I don't want to hide the ship. So now I'm going to do just a few bits and pieces just to tie in the nautical theme of what else is going on. So I've got some Crafter's Companion dies in the Nautical collection. So I'm going to cut one of the anchors, and I think I'm also going to have some birds, because I seem to remember Maurice having a whale of a time painting birds when we did seascapes one week. So for the anchor, I'm going to cut it from silver mirror card, which is the same as the blue one. It's just from a different pack. It comes in lots and lots of different colours combinations, and it is one of my favourite products because it just makes everything look so professional. So I'm just going to trim my card to size. I feel like this live's been really frantic because it's my first one. I'm not going to lie, I am a bit anxious. So I'm going to bring in my Gemini Mini again, which essentially, for those in my art class that I was talking about before with a big one, this is essentially one of the ones I was talking about that was manual, but this has the same pressure in it as that bigger machine. Don't know how. It's absolutely amazing the things that they develop at Crafter's Companion HQ. Now that, I think, looks really cool. Just doing it out of the luxury cardstock really gives it that nautical feel, although it does look a little bit like it's from a new boat, not a bit of an aged one. It mustn't have been out to sea yet. So I'm going to use my Collal tacky glue, and I'm going to shape the anchor a little bit with my fingers. This is something that I really enjoy doing to get a bit more of a 3D effect going on. Alright, so I'm just putting on some glue. Just had David, my adopted nephew, saying that it looks amazing. Thank you, David. And I'm going to put that little in there. And by just touching the sides and sort of pushing it upwards, it means that it doesn't stick completely flat. Now, here's a little bit of kitchen roll just to remove that little bit extra glue that is seeped out. And I'm just going to slightly move that again. And as well as having that on, I'm going to have the birds. So again, this is from the Nautical collection. It is the At the Beach. And I'm going to cut the bird out of white cardstock. And again, I'm going to use the mini. Just bring that in. Is there any more comments coming in? And then he's got just a little bit of his wings to come out. And how cute is he? So I'm also going to cut him in the silver, because I'm going to offset it slightly. which you will see in a second. Right, so now if I put a little bit of glue just in the centre of the bird's body, I'm not going to put any on the wings, and then I'm just going to lay that on top of the other one, but slightly skew with. And then I'm just going to fold his wings. I'm trying to do this so the camera can see. And the silver is sort of going to make it look like it's a bird in flight. Can you see that there? And then I'm going to stick him on the front, just to tie it all together. Now I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing it. So I say there's the finished card. And please, if you are the person with the angry face and you haven't liked my video, I apologise for that. Hopefully the next time will be better, because I will have equipment and things then that are going to make it much easier. But I do think it's ended up being a lovely card, and I know I'm pretty sure that my art class will love it, and that Maurice would have been delighted that people had cared so much at this strange time. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.